I always feel so guilty about putting these coffee tins in the recycling bin because I keep thinking I'm going to make something with them. And today is the day. Hi there, creative friends. I'm Jane from Sustain My Craft Habit. I want to show you how you can take a beautiful graphic that you can print out at home on your inkjet printer and decoupage that onto a metal surface to dress up a coffee tin that you can use to make a centerpiece or a decorative canister. I started by downloading this beautiful butterfly clip art from Creative Fabrica. It was actually a freebie at the time and is at the time of this recording, and then printed it out on my inkjet printer at home. You could use your colored laser jet as well, but the point is you don't need any special paper to do this decoupage project. I used the bottom of the canister to trace around the design and then cut that out with my scissors. Next, it was time to prepare the tin can for decoupage. So I first took off the label, made sure the tin can was completely dry and clean, and then scuffed it up a bit with a sanding block. I applied a coat of Mod Podge just to the area where I wanted to decoupage on my design, and then let that dry completely as I used the iron-on technique. So this method is really simple, and it's my favorite way of getting a smooth, wrinkle-free result with your decoupage. We have another video here using the same method on a plastic surface. But once the Mod Podge is dry, you simply place your design over that, whether it be a napkin, rice paper, or this printout as we used, and then covered it with a bit of parchment paper and use the heat from my mini press to press that printout onto the Mod Podge. And it's really as simple as that. In this case, it was really preferable because it sort of covered over the grooves in the tin can rather than kind of filling in to create that wavy edge, if that makes any sense. It just really provided a nice flat finish. I did put a coat of DuraClear sealer over top, and this is really just to protect that paper from scratches and dirt, and then dried that completely. I next painted around the decoupaged printout with a coordinating turquoise paint. This is actually a metallic texture paint by Decor. It is a bit hard to find because I think they've discontinued it, but you could basically look for any paint color. A metallic is nice just with this graphic, but find something that coordinates well with your design. I liked how this turquoise matched the butterfly wings a little bit and really brought that out in my piece. After going around with just a single coat, I did take my stencil brush and then dabbed on a little bit more of this texture paint because it is quite thick. You could thicken your acrylic paint with a thickening agent, or even using a chalky paint that has a little bit of a thicker texture and a couple coats. You can get this kind of stucco finish on the surface. Or you could just leave it nice and smooth, which would look beautiful as well. Here I am just going around that outer edge to blend it in a bit. I continued that around to the other side of the container as well. To make our craft a little fancier, I decided to add on some feet. So I painted these with a black metallic paint. These are just some wood cabinet knobs. My mother-in-law brought me a whole bag of them from the thrift store for just about $8, and I've been going through them little by little, but you can definitely find large wood cabinet knobs at the craft store or on Amazon, and they're nice because they have a little hole drilled on the one side and a flattish surface, which will sit nicely on the bottom of my canister. I picked this dark color really as a nice contrast and to pull out some of the dark colors from the graphic that I chose, but obviously you'll want to go with a color that coordinates with your graphic. Now I'm using a combination of the Gorilla Glue with a little bit of hot glue just to hold the feet in place, and I had painted 3 of them and kind of arrange them in a triangular configuration to go on the bottom of the container. At this point, I wasn't completely sure whether I would be using my new canister as a storage canister or for a kind of centerpiece to arrange some flowers. So I painted the lid with the same black metallic paint as I used for the feet, And the idea here is that you could paint a couple coats in whichever color you'd like, and then put on a nice decorative knob on the top, and it will close back up and you can store little things in there. I went in a slightly different direction, and after painting and drying the lid, I actually cut out a circle from the center using just my scissors and carefully went around so that it was about an inch thick all the way around. I then simply slid that right over the top of my container, and it really provided a nice clean finish on that edge. Now it was time to create my arrangement. I cut a little block of this floral foam and then glued that to the bottom of the coffee tin. Next, I used some faux florals to create an arrangement. I used a combination of this faux eucalyptus, which I believe came from the Dollarama here in Canada, and then some of my Sola wood flowers. Now you can see the potential here. You could do completely different types of graphics, like a fall themed one, a holiday themed one, just changing up the types of greenery inside and the design of your florals, or the graphic and the color scheme that you use. But it's just a fun way to create a pretty tall arrangement for very inexpensively. I had a bunch of these undyed Sola wood flowers, and I just stuck them on some wire stems and put them right in there. And this is how that looked all together. So beautiful, so much texture and color. It really is kind of like a statement piece and really fun. I must admit, when I was taking this little video, I wasn't too happy with the creaminess of my Sola flowers and the whiteness of the paper that I used for the printable. So I actually swapped out those Sola flowers for some brighter white roses, and I think this looks absolutely beautiful on my piano. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this trash to treasure makeover and found some new ideas and inspiration. Happy crafting!